All right, are we live? Are we live? We are live. Hey guys, it's Wolfie. You know the drill. Today we are going to watch some 49ers content creators and their perspectives on what they saw at training camp today. So let's just jump right into it. You know me, I like to just jump right into it fast. One pump chump. Let's get it in there. Just jump right into it. This is Grant Cohn. So, and we'll get to the Ayuk situation with what Matt Miyako said about how it's more likely than ever that Brandon Ayuk will get traded. So we'll get to that at the end of it. So let's go ahead and just watch this, though. Get out of the way. And take a shot for every time I say though. Milwaukee, what up, man? Welcome. Sorry for being late there, man. I had to run behind on a few things. But we're here, man. We're here. All right, here we go.
Day 10 of 49ers.
Day 10.
Keep in mind the players did not wear pads, and Deebo Samuel took his first day off of the offseason.
Well deserved.
The good. Wide receiver Juwan Jennings. Deebo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk didn't practice, so Juwan Jennings was the number one target on the field. Not just the number one receiver, the number one option. He caught 4 passes while George Kittle caught 3. Jennings has improved so much the past couple years. He's an elite blocker and an outstanding route runner for such a big wide receiver. He could be a quality number 2 receiver on lots of teams. He needs at least 50 targets this season.
But wait, you're saying he's pretty much playing Ayuk's position right now, which was the number one option, and he's playing like a number one option against starters, like against Lenore and against Ward. And he's making those plays, and you're saying he's a second option? Maybe we're undervaluing 3rd and 1 here, you know what I mean? Saying. And also, again, this says a lot about Brock Purdy because he's still able to make plays against an elite defense, without Ayuk.
Wide receiver Ronnie Bell. He was the second best wide receiver on the field after Jennings today. Bell caught 3.
Oh, I got a question. If Jennings so good, why did they draft Ricky? Just in case. You never know. Juwan Jennings didn't sign his tender yet, so he's uncertain there. Also, you want to make sure you have all your options still. So because you still be relying on Juwan Jennings to be that number one option, because it's just now in this training camp that he's having elite, training camp where people are actually calling him now a number one option. But however, before that, it's good. If Ayuk's gone, you got to replace that weapon. You got to replace those yards. You got to replace those touchdowns. So just in case he leaves. So, because you would just have, if Ayuk left and you didn't replace him, you would just have Juwan Jennings. That's it. So we could have drafted him in a second, maybe. But if Pearsall turns out to be a number one wide receiver and actually replaces him, I'll take it. Strawberry, welcome back. Welcome back, brother. Who, Juwan Jennings? Yeah, but he's proven to whatever he's proven to be wherever Brock Purdy needs him to be. So such as how many times did we see Brock Purdy throw a pass intermediate and it just be a perfect dunk in? And it's not necessarily Juwan Jennings needing to get open. It's just he just needs to be at a certain spot. And Juwan Jennings does that for Brock Purdy. Hey. So I think he could get wide open. Not to mention he's made multiple contested 50-50 balls. I think Juwan Jennings is a little underrated. I think he's a lot better than I think he could be a number one. I think he could. I think he's just shadowed by Deebo and Ayuk. All right.
3 passes and gained 10 yards on an end around. On his first catch, he caught a hospital ball over the middle from Joshua Dobbs. Bell was running a dig route, and Dobbs' pass was high and behind him. So Bell stopped, jumped, caught the ball, got hit, landed on his back, got the wind knocked out of him, and stayed in practice. Tough guy. On his second catch, he beat Renardo Green with a curl route for a 10-yard gain. And on his final catch, he beat Fred.
On his fight, Bell's balling out. What is this? But he isn't a number one wide receiver. Just my opinion. Yeah, for sure. I get you're saying he hasn't really played as a number one wide receiver, so he hasn't really proven himself to be. But I mean, if he's performing against Lenore and Ward right now, if that's who he's beating in camp, well, or it could say a lot more about Brock Purdy. So if Juwan Jennings isn't a number one wide receiver, so either way, he's definitely number two. Oh, without a doubt, no argument. Juwan Jennings, without a doubt, is number two. I think it's number one too. Probably a back end. I wouldn't say like a straight up like top 15, 20 if that we're talking, but I definitely think he could possibly be like a 25 to 32 guy for sure. All right, let's finish this guy. Let's finish Grant's speech real quick, and then we'll get to. I'll answer some questions and comments after.
Freaking Warner we get through during a scramble drill for another 10-yard gain.
Appreciate you guys.
Bell has to make this team. He's at least as good as rookie first-round pick Ricky Pearsall. Wide receiver Ricky Pearsall. He caught 2 passes in practice today. On the first one, he ran a cheat motion to the left, then turned upfield and beat Rock Ya-Sin with a dig route for a 15-yard gain. On the second catch, Pearsall actually beat Diamador Lenore with the comeback route. Lenore was all over him, and Pearsall still came down with the ball. He's a tough player with good hand-eye coordination, but he's not creating much separation yet.
Well, he's still, making great contested catches against starting corners because Lenore is a starting corner. Let's. And if Lenore was blanketing him, then that says a lot about him. That's a pretty big deal because a lot of people says that if you bumped into Pearsall, he can't make plays. But here we are. It's one play, so we're not going to say that's what he does all the time. But if he's consistent with it, it becomes a trend.
Linebacker D. Winters.
We'll crown him.
He nearly intercepted a Brandon Allen pass that was intended for Eric Sobert. The offense was backed up against its goal line, and Allen tried to throw a quick pass to his tight end to get some breathing room. Winters read Allen all the way and broke on the pass before he threw it. Winters has improved so much since he was a rookie last year. He should start.
That's high praise, saying he should start, especially with this linebacker group that we have. I've heard great things about Graham as well. The best linebacker depth and group in the league for sure. No doubt. No doubt, my mind. Depth. Let's see what we got. All right.
D-end Yatir Gross-Matos. He's clearly the best run defender among the 49ers defensive ends. He sets a strong edge and makes plays in the backfield. He also can rush from the interior and drop into zone.
Not gonna lie to you, so far this is probably the most positive video Grant Cohn's ever made so far.
Zone coverage. He's a terrific addition to the team. Cornerback Isaac Yiadom. He broke up a Brock Purdy pass that was intended for Trent Taylor in the end zone. Taylor ran a quick slant and Yiadom smothered him, which is impressive because Taylor is a tough matchup for Yiadom, who's a high cut outside cornerback. Taylor is a slot receiver with a low center of gravity. Quarterback Brock Purdy. He practiced without Trent Williams.
Pretty big deal. Bro doesn't ever, well, I'll say ever praise him, but, if Brock Purdy does do something bad, he ends up on the not so good list.
Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel, and Christian McCaffrey, and still completed 11 of 13 pass attempts. Most importantly, Purdy made good decisions. He challenged the defense when he had opportunities and took what the defense gave him when nothing else was available, which means he didn't try to do too much. He was smart. The not so good. Running back Elijah Mitchell. He wasn't at practice. Didn't even show up.
Oh, he finally showed up on the report, and he didn't do so hot.
Which is kind of strange because injured players usually rehab on the field in front of everyone. So maybe Mitchell isn't injured. Maybe he had a stomach bug or a family emergency. We'll find out soon enough.
Wow, very optimistic. Maybe I still feel there's a little sarcasm behind it, but it is a lot.
Hopefully he's not injured. Quarterback Brandon Allen. He threw a pass directly to safety Taylor Hawkins, which Hawkins dropped. He also threw a pass directly to D. Winters, which Winters dropped. Those passes were truly awful. Allen has to be one of the worst quarterbacks in the NFL. He's worse than Nick Mullins, C.J. Beathard, Trey Lance, Nate Sudfeld. Name any quarterback. Allen is worse than him. Joshua Dobbs will win this competition by default. Wide receiver Tariq Owens. He made a few catches the first few days of camp, but has gotten shut down since then.
Oh, okay.
Today, Samuel Womack locked him up. Owens attempted to run an out route, and Womack jammed him multiple times, and Owens fell down. He made Womack look like Deion Sanders, and Womack will not.
Dang, bro. That's cold. That's cold.
Not make this team. Maybe Owens isn't an NFL player after all.
There's always one shot in there somewhere. All right. Okay. See what I got. Milwaukee. You know, he got a game winning Hail Mary against for Georgia. Juwan Jennings, yeah. If you're talking about Juwan Jennings, I think I don't know if it was a team. I'm guessing you're referring to Juwan Jennings situation. So yeah, I heard about that. He's a good player, man. He's good. He only fell in the draft because of his speed. He was kind of stiff. Hey, well, what do you think, man? I appreciate it. I try so hard and I get so far. But in the end, it might matter. How old am I? I'm 36. 36. It's rare. Yep, strawberry. It's rare. I know what you're talking about. Barry, you're a 49ers fan. He is. I think I've seen him in other lives before. He engages really well. He's a good guy. As a Jags fan, Milwaukee is a Jags fan. You know, I thought he would be a Green Bay fan, to be honest. People thought I'd be a Seahawks fan when I lived in Washington State. So, all right, let's look up the next guy. Let's look up the next dude. Give me 1 second. David Lombardi. David Lombardi. All right, good. His reaction's only 5 minutes long this time. I don't think your instant breakdown should be anything longer than 10 minutes. Anything longer than 10 minutes. Just give us the clip notes. It's just my opinion. You do you. How you want to report. But that's just me. Hold on. One second. Okay, I gotta get that on there. Go back to StreamYard. Okay. Question: Burrow or Allen? Burrow for sure. Allen for me is. I'm not quite as unsold on Allen as everyone else is. Is he bad? Certainly not. However, it just seems like when he gets in the playoffs, there's like these little teensy wincy moments that he gets where if he clutches up, like it's great. It's a great moment. Such as I think it was in the playoffs, or I could be wrong. There was a game where he completely missed Gabe Davis, like wide open in the end zone. Could be against the Eagles. And it's like that. It's just like you just need to be clutch in that exact moment. And it seems like every year there's just like these little ticky-tacky clutch moments that would change the game a little bit with him. So Burrow, however, has shown to be clutch even when he's hurt. He's like this generation's Matthew Stafford, I feel like. He's pretty good. He makes a lot of dumb decisions. Yes, he does. He really honestly does. But the next thing you know, he makes up for a 75-yard bomb. You know, his deep threat ability is pretty good. Josh Allen. So okay, let's get to boom. David Lombardi. Ah! Didn't mean to jump scare you guys. Let's go.
Practice was in the books here at training camp, and I will say that was much lighter
Bro.
than yesterday. That was a marathon session on Saturday. Today, the 49ers didn't even put on pads.
Was this
So they were out on
ASMR,
that
man?
field in shorts and in their jerseys. And
All right,
I will
turn
say
that up.
Brock Purdy was very sharp. Only 3 incompletions all practice for Brock Purdy, and the first 2 were drops. One from Juwan Jennings. Purdy actually fit a beautiful throw in off schedule, which was maybe 20, 25 yards downfield. Jennings had to come back for the football. It had changed direction, but Purdy put it where it had to be in between 3 defenders, and Jennings just couldn't hold on. And then later, Jordan Mason dropped his first pass of training camp. It's funny because yesterday I was talking about Jordan Mason and the jugs machine, and obviously he's done great work this camp. His hands have been much improved after purchasing.
He can get away with a couple things right now because he's been playing outstanding for the past all of camp. I mean, the only blunder he had a fumble. But I've heard he's made amazing catches so far. He's had some good runs. Nothing but great things about Mason. So he's allowed a couple mess ups here and there. Still let it be a trend.
Purchasing that $3,000 jugs machine for his house in Nashville. Well, today he dropped his first pass, but it didn't stop Brock Purdy in the offense. They were running some situational stuff. First, there was a back against the wall period where Kyle Shanahan makes the offense line up at their own 1-yard line, and Purdy was able to execute a first down from there. I think he hit George Kittle to make it happen. End of practice, moved the ball. Purdy drove the offense right down the field. Some excellent connections between him and Chris Conley, who I think is the best X-receiver that the 49ers.
Constantly hearing things about Chris Conley. Constantly hearing good things about him. So he's definitely made the team. Chris Conley's definitely made the team. At first, I had predicted not making the team because we could have just picked him up off practice squad. But considering how well he's playing with Brock Purdy, can't risk it. He's definitely made the team. So
Currently have out at practice right now. It's obviously Brandon Ayuk's position, but Conley, look out for him, especially if Ayuk is unavailable, which he is right now. He's going to be a featured guy, and he continually makes impressive catches, has good rapport from Brock Purdy. And then Ricky Pearsall had a really nice catch, and it seemed to be on Purdy's second read. So it seemed that there was some good rapport between those two a little bit later in the progression. Brandon Allen almost threw an interception, a couple interceptions today. One to Taylor Hawkins, who almost undercut a pass, and then one in the back against the wall period to D. Winters, who actually is speaking today to the media. No Demetrius Flanagan fouls. That meant that D. Winters and Jalen Graham both saw some run with the first team.
fouls not make the team, man.
Linebacker today. This was practice number 10. For the first time in 10 practices, Deebo Samuel took a vet day. I mean, he has looked
He deserved
awesome
it.
so far.
He's deserved it.
So it was some well-deserved rest from Deebo. For Deebo, all the other veterans, except for Purdy, of course, but the quarterback position doesn't need as much rest. The guys who actually taken some abuse, though, they need some rest. All those other vets, they'd taken at least a vet day. Kyle Juszczyk had taken the first one in his entire 49ers tenure, and that's 8 years now for Kyle Juszczyk. Well, Deebo Samuel deserved one. And
8 years, bro, dude.
Yeah.
He's been on the squad for 8 years. Dang, dude. Dude, I remember his first press conference, man. What was it? What was his nickname? Something weapon. I can't remember the name.
George Kittle has this funny thing at practice where he makes a big play and he's like messing with a defender. He'll like toss the ball backwards at that defender, like, hey, yeah, you can take the ball. I just made a big play. Kind of confuses the defender. I don't know if it upsets them. It probably confuses them too much to be upset. But today, after a big gain, first down pickup and move the ball, catch from Brock Purdy, George Kittle just kind of flipped it to Diomaro Lenore. And he's like, what do I do with this football? Just thought it was some levity on a lighter day for the 49ers at practice. Going through the notes here to see if I missed anything. This is just instant reaction. We're going to have much more of a detailed look in a little bit. Pearsall, a couple of those catches. Ronnie Bell. Ronnie Bell made 2 catches today where he had to climb the ladder. I think he's quietly making a case. I mean, it's probably going to come down to the comfort that they see in Ronnie Bell in punt returns, and he might be a little bit behind in that regard. Remember, last year didn't look all too comfortable back there, but he's holding on the footballs and he's going.
I want to let him finish there, but I have to say this now just in case I forget. Keep him away from punt returns. Keep him away from special teams. He does not belong there. Bro, dropped the ball already in the game. I've heard he's already dropped 2 punts in practice. No. We're done with Ronnie Bell on special teams. But it's good to hear that on offense he's performing, catching balls, making plays. There, I've heard nothing but good things.
Going up, and on one, I mean, he hobbled off a little bit because I think he took a little bit of a hit. He skied up into the air above Rock Yassin on a pass from Josh Dobbs. But he's making those tough catches, which I think is noteworthy. Mike Shanahan, he's been out of practice. So's Bruce Kittle, George's dad, over the past couple of days. But we got to see Mike, and also saw 3 players working off on the side, sprinting, picking up some speed. Jacob Cowing, Tay Martin, both with hamstring injuries, and Spencer Burford with his broken hand. Those guys were working out on the practice field. No Brandon Ayuk sighting today. Maybe he picked his head out of the weight room, but I did not.
Well, according to Grant Cohn, he was in the bathroom. I mean, he said it like a billion times. So Ayuk was in the bathroom, apparently. Which is kind of a weird report. Anyway, I gotta stop hating.
Not catch that if it was the case. All right, Brock Purdy speaking in a little bit. By the way, Purdy, after practice, was there. Everybody's calling for his autograph. He is waving to the crowd, but Purdy was working on his own after practice and working on throws on the run. Empty field. Other guys are already enjoying some family time, but Brock Purdy, even after his sharpest.
Okay. Everyone else went home with their family. Brock Purdy, after practice, put some extra work in. I'm such a hater, guys. Did he follow him to the Papa J? What up, brother? Welcome back, man. Did he follow him in the bathroom? I don't know, dude. Probably get that scoop. Maybe that's where they were. That's where John Lynch was, and they secretly met, according to Grant Cohn, and was in the bathroom. Grant's daily Ayuk updates make me laugh. Yeah, dude, it's just. I'm okay. I want to stay out of it. I really want to stay out of the best I can. So I mean, unless I try to say this nicely, there are, when a rumor gets said, like if one rumor gets put out there, even to the slightest, it gets stretched to the biggest of imagination. Such as, for example, the Ayuk handshake. Seriously, it was just a handshake. You know, could have been something like that, possibly. Okay, but it didn't look like that whatsoever. It just looked like some sort of handshake. And it was stretched into the imagination that, oh my God, a trade is coming soon. And it's just like, and then this, like the media ran with it, and it's blatant in your face where the source came from, which was this handshake. And it's just, that is not a source. That is not something you should be like, okay, well, that's definitely something happening. Like, you're not, I don't know, dude. Like, are you the mentalist? You know, like, are you? I don't know. The dap heard around the world. Yeah, dude, it was heard around the world for sure, dude. It was everywhere, bro. Everyone keeps bringing it up, and it's like not everything is that deep. I really am not that guy. I don't like saying that because sometimes, a lot of times, things are that deep, you know. But as of late, it seems that people are really taking it just to the extreme. Let's move on to Larry Krueger before I get too lost in the sauce and I end up on someone's video. Because I really mean no hate. I just all right. Larry Krueger. And if anybody else says anything about me, man, I truly am just a fan. But like I always say, nothing replaces a good conversation. So that's what I try to bring. Okay, so what am I looking for? Larry Krueger. Boom. Boom. Ball with the ball to the bang and bang, diggy to the jump to the boogie. Brother. I love you, Krueger, but like 21 minutes, man. Ah, let's go. Let's do it, guys. Let's do it.
After 49ers training camp practice number 10, beautiful day down here in Santa Clara. It was kind of some fog cover early in the morning, so it was kind of one of the cooler days of practice. But let's go through day 10 and what stood out at practice and from 49ers training camp practice number 10. Now, first they start with individual drills. I honed in on the defensive line today, and I thought Evan Anderson really looked quick in the one-on-one drills and some of the D-line drills that they were doing. And then Yatir Gross-Matos also is looking really, really good. Two new guys on that defensive front. Matos, I think, is going to be able to play inside and outside. Evan Anderson is about 330.
So far, Grant Cohn and Larry Krueger said the same thing about Gross-Matos. So that's good. Again, we're cross-examining. If two people are saying the same thing, the people that are there says something.
Pounds, it looks like, and he really moves exceptionally well for 330. I'm really eager to see Yatir Gross-Matos, Evan Anderson, and Shaquille Brown in preseason action once a week from now when the game starts.
I'm excited to see Shaquille Brown.
Those are three guys that to me look like they could contribute to the 49er defensive line this year. Brown looks incredibly powerful. I mean, Anderson is just, you just don't see guys who are that big move that well. I love what I've seen from Evan Anderson. And then Shaquille Brown is just, really strong lower body. I think he's going to be a tough guy to uproot out of there. If you're in the run game, I think he's going to be able to anchor well in the run game. So those three defensive linemen stood out, mostly Anderson, but a little bit of Shaquille Brown and a little bit of Yatir Gross-Matos. Then we got into the team drills. Dominic Pooney continues to start at right guard. So that's a good sign. Pooney has been running with the ones at right guard really in this camp. I think there's a very good chance that Dominic Pooney might be a plug and play right guard. He might be a guy who steps in, week one against the Jets and doesn't miss a beat.
Well, that's good to hear because Feliciano, I've heard, is hurt. Burford's hurt. Also, we got like 10 guards and centers on our freaking team right now. So, yeah, it's really good to hear that the rookie's showing out and that he can play actually right guard and he actually might be able to start against the Jets. No one said anything bad about him. He hasn't gotten beat so far in camp. No one's, said he can't be on his feet. He can't do good in the run game or the pass game. So far, nothing but high praise for Pooney. And if you're saying he can start week one already, That's a W. It's another W for John Lynch. So, and again, I like it when they talk about offensive line. They don't talk about offensive line enough with these creators. I'm serious. It's bad.
That would be absolutely exactly what the doctor ordered for the 49ers. Because if you really look at their defensive line, they just or their offensive line, they need a little bit more. They need a little bit.
Hold on. Look at that comment here. He glazes Mordecai for like 5 minutes. That's his gem, man. Mordecai's his gem, brother. That's his gem. He tries out like 3. They try out. Yeah, I mean, they really didn't do much. They're really confident. You know what I mean? And in the offensive line they had. I mean, I can't believe that. It's really shocking to me. They must think McKivitz is going to take a huge jump somehow, and they must have really believed in the guards in the draft and center. I don't know, man. It's so weird. The offensive line thing is just so weird to me. So, but it's good to know that we filled a hole in the 3 spots that's bad with Pooney, which was center, right guard, and right tackle, our biggest holes. So we did fill something, and hopefully, pause by the way, and hopefully Nugent, the undrafted free agent, maybe Kingston, maybe, and a punter. So Mitch must be hurt. Oh, we worked out a punter? I didn't know that. After practice, they try out 3 offensive. Really? Yeah, someone's probably hurt. Elfine got hurt like the moment he started. So maybe we're getting rid of him and be like, all right, well, he got hurt first practice. And so we're looking, all right, what's with the interior, man? Like, are we that confident? Jalen Moore is not like Grant said it. Like, I'm certain Dave Lombardi has said it. Jalen Moore is not a tackle. He's not good. And I don't know why we keep that dude. And right now we got like 5 tackles, and that's counting him. So without him, we got 4. It's 3 if you don't want to count Kingston, who was drafted as a guard, who can play right tackle, I guess. Pooney, he's only playing right guard strictly. I don't know. Tackle is just weird. Like, we don't give a crap about tackle. I don't know. Strawberry says they have been putting Kingston right tackle. I know. I want to hear more about that. I want to know how he's doing. I really you say not with the ones? All right. But still, I want to see how he's doing. If he's actually performing, playing good, because I've heard that he doesn't exactly have the size for it. But if he's actually holding his own and actually playing good, size doesn't dictate like you can't play it. It just means there's a likely chance you're not. And if he could perform, I want to see it, man. I want to see it. I want to know more about that. I want to know more about the offensive line because that's the biggest problem. That, I think the biggest problem, even if we lose Ayuk, our biggest problem is still offensive line. Even if we lose Ayuk, I still think D tackle is our biggest. So it would go, if we lose Ayuk, it would go O-line, D tackle, I think, and wide receiver as my worries in order. So Strawberry, I actually heard Moore was doing better this camp as pass protector, but he's not good as run partner. That's the thing. This offense is way more of a run play action. So you gotta not only be good at run blocking, you gotta be good at pretending to run block. So unless this team is moving to more passing offense, which Grant Cohn thinks is happening, and I think Larry Krueger said the same thing as well. So if that's the case, then yeah. But if we're doing the same thing with play action, So, all right, let's get through Larry Krueger's video real quick. Let's get through a few minutes.
More juice, I think, in their offensive line. They don't move people at center in the run game. They don't move people like they could or should, I think, at right guard in the run game. in the interior, even the left guard spot with Banks. I would love to see the 49ers upgrade a little bit in the interior, and Pooney might be an opportunity for exactly that, for a guy to step in at right guard and maybe be a plug and play guy. I kind of like the idea of Pooney starting at guard and Feliciano coming off the bench, then Feliciano starting at right guard and Pooney coming off the bench.
Really?
Last year we saw Burford and Feliciano share right.
That's saying a lot because Feliciano played really well up to the point till he got hurt in the Super Bowl. That's high praise there, Larry.
Guard. Burford's now out for 3 or 4 weeks with a broken hand. That is not going to require surgery, by the way, so that's good news. But Pooney has been starting at right guard, and he continued to today. A couple other things that stood out today. I thought Cody Schrader had 4 or 5 really nice runs. He just keeps those legs churning. He doesn't look like a ton, but he runs with a compact style. He's got good.
For some reason, I could just be my stoner mind here. When he says like he's not a big dude, he runs a compact style. I thought of like a Minecraft character. Oh my god!
With leg drive, he seems to be a guy who has already impressed his teammates. You've heard Kittle single him out. You've heard McCaffrey single him out, and a couple other players as well have singled out Cody Schrader as a guy who's really looked good to them. D. Winters made a nice play today against Taylor, the free agent who came over from Green Bay, Patrick Taylor. Winters made a nice stop in the run game. I thought Brandon Allen had a beautiful crosser to Pearsall in the team drills. I thought that was impressive. J.P. Mason continues to really impress out here. Every single day, this guy's running with conviction. Sure. He's running with power, with great body lean. Who didn't look good to me today was Josh Dobbs. He just isn't the guy. I don't know what else to say. He holds the ball too long.
I'm laughing because truly Larry Krueger is Josh Dobbs' biggest hater, biggest doubter. He wants Joshua Dobbs gone more than Brandon Allen. He wants him gone just so Tanner Mordecai can get on a team. And we all know that Tanner Mordecai is Larry Krueger's boy. So this dude bags on Joshua Dobbs hard. He's not bad. He won games last year. Am I wrong? He played great. Like, I don't know, man. Like, give him some time. He needs to learn the playbook. He's got to learn to play with the wide receivers. Like, relax, man. Like, we talk about interceptions not being important, but this dude's like Joshua Dobbs, bro. Yep, I think it has more to do with one more kind of team. Yeah, brother. Yeah. Which is all right. I mean, but personally, if it was up to me, I would rather have Joshua Dobbs, who's proven it more so than Brandon Allen, who's been terrible. No one's praised Brandon Allen ever. Joshua Dobbs, on the other hand, is at least impressed on at least 1 or 2 days. So, is Tanner really that good? I mean, if he's your third depth quarterback and you groomed him from the start and he learns nothing but your system and, playing with all the wide receivers and stuff, and if he's just a little bit less talented than Brandon Allen, I'd rather take that. I'd rather take someone I'm grooming and hope for the best, especially on a rookie contract, if they are just a little bit less talented than Brandon Allen. I would rather do that. Because Brandon Allen, I've heard, it's not from whatever, Brandon Allen's not that great. And so the gap really can't be that huge. Yeah. Same here, man. I can't wait. I mean, I'm not really there. This is just from what I've heard, and just really collectively how I got my opinion here. So, but yeah, definitely can't wait to see the games. Preseason's gonna be a big deal because he's gonna try his best because he wants to make the team. All he has to do is outperform Brandon Allen. That's all he has to do. I promise you, Joshua Dobbs is making this team no matter what. I promise you, he's not getting cut. He hasn't had tons. He's had like a few reps so far, but in those few reps, they were good reps. They were good reps, so that says something. Lance type of quarterback. Ooh, I don't want to hear that, man. But then again, is Lance a third string quarterback? Might be. Might be. Sucks for Tanner. He can get a single rep until like day 8. Yeah. But as long as he capitalizes, that's what happened with Brock Purdy. He went out there, according to Kyle Shanahan, he went out there and he didn't make the safe plays. He made the plays that he needed to, went out there and risked it. And if Tanner is doing that, making plays with the minimal amount of plays that he's getting, especially preseason. All right, let's get through crew here. We're only 4 minutes in of this 21-minute breakdown.
His deep ball has no zip on it. It just has a flutter.
That's true.
It seems like it doesn't come off his hand with any consistency. He doesn't exude a lot of confidence in the way he displays himself on the practice field. He seems like he processes slowly. He holds the ball a long time. When he goes to throw it deep, it doesn't seem like he's ready to throw it deep. It kind of it doesn't jump off his hand. To me, Dobbs has not been very impressive. If you said to me, how do you look at the quarterbacks on this team? Well, clearly Brock's the one. Clearly Brandon Allen has outplayed Josh Dobbs.
Really?
And I think Tanner Mordecai is
really. That's so weird because I haven't heard a single positive thing about Brandon. Maybe a throw or two. But I've never had anyone come out of an instant reaction and said that Brandon Allen was on the good side of it. Like, I'm pretty sure Grant Cohn hasn't. David Lombardi hasn't. What's his name? Brad from the SF Niners. Like, that is so weird. He has not. That's such a trip, dude. That is such a trip. Puppet says, so what I'm gathering is that 2 running back 2 is that between Allen and Dobbs, and whoever loses gets cut. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. It's Tanner's definitely making it for sure. He's got him as a second He's got him as the second quarterback already, which is trip. But Larry's the only. Yeah, it seems like it because I haven't heard anyone. Correct me if I'm wrong, of course. Let me know in the comments later on as people see this. But I'm pretty sure I have not heard anyone praise Brandon Allen yet. And I've heard people praise Josh Dobbs. So I can start getting through this video. Some say they may only keep 2 quarterbacks in the roster because they have dated the rule. That's what I thought about that. I thought about that too for the emergency third quarterback for game day, 10-33, not the emergency. I thought the same thing as well, but so I think they're going to keep 3 quarterbacks and then use that emergency one for a 4th one. But it's definitely possible. You're definitely right. For sure, Strawberry. For sure. All right, let's get through this video here. I don't know. Joshua Dobbs has been – it's clear cut to me.
Probably better than either Dobbs or Allen. And I've said this a few times. I
predicting the future.
Asked Brock Purdy today after practice about his early impressions of Mordecai, and you can tell by what he said that he likes Tanner Mordecai, that he thinks Tanner Mordecai is pretty good. I think he followed up his comments on Mordecai by saying he can rip it. I see the same thing, man. I see a guy who's played a lot of football, who's smart.
You're lying. You're lying, Strawberry. Larry also said they should trade Ayuk for Justin. He did not say that, dude. There's no way he said that, brother. That can't be true. There's no way he said that, dude. I had to stop the video to read that. There's no way. He really hates Dobbs. Yeah, I don't think he likes Dobbs at all. I think he's just not a fan of Dobbs because Dobbs is clearly outperforming Brandon Allen. He did. That's crazy. I'm gonna keep that short. I don't want to say too much. That's crazy. I 100%, 10%, and no points. Ayuk. No.
Who's competitive as hell, who has 4.46 speed, and is accurate in the short and intermediate, more accurate in the short and intermediate than Dobbs and Allen. He looks better than those guys, and those guys have been in the league for years. And Allen has been in this offense for now a couple seasons. So I like Tanner Mordecai. I think Tanner Mordecai.
You don't say. You like Tanner Mordecai?
Guy's the second best quarterback on this team. I think the preseason is going to prove it. I think Brock Purdy kind of told you what he thought of Tanner Mordecai. We'll put some of those comments out later today. But Brock Purdy knows ball. And when I asked him about Tanner Mordecai, you could tell he likes Tanner Mordecai. He thinks Tanner Mordecai is a pretty good quarterback. I do too. In fact, I'll say it right here for everybody to hear.
You like Tanner Mordecai?
I think Tanner Mordecai is clearly the 49ers' second best quarterback. We'll see how the rest of this camp goes. We'll see how the preseason goes. But that's my evaluation. I think I know what I'm talking about. I think Brandon Allen ain't bad as a backup.
Oh God, I do like Larry, dude. I swear to God, I know I do. I watch him all the time. But it's just so funny. I'm gonna go on a limb, man. I'm gonna go on a limb. I like Tanner Mordecai. All right. Yeah, he's not gonna trash him on the podium, bro. Like I'm sure he said something about Brandon Allen, say something about So yeah, you did say that he's gonna be a second. He should be this backup. Oh, okay. So I'm collecting myself here. Oh. Okay. All right.
A 2-3. Dobbs is not bad as a 2-3. I don't think they're as good as Mordecai.
Wait, Dobbs is not bad as a 2-3, but we should cut him over. I don't know if he's a 2-3, he qualifies.
Mordecai's better than those guys. I think Mordecai is going to be the number 2 quarterback. He had a couple nice pass plays today where he ripped it across the middle of the field. Purdy had a really nice pass to Ricky Pearsall against Demo Lenore, who's looking great in this camp, by the way. Demo Lenore is just awesome. He's going to have a great year. Excuse me, this is probably going to be Demo's last year with the Niners. Why? Because Demo's going to make so much money that he's probably going to price himself out. But
it's kind of negative, man. I never even thought about that. We're over thinking about Ayuk and shit like that, and you're bringing up Demo being traded.
Prater had some nice runs. Mason had some nice runs. Pearsall is running some good routes. Juwan Jennings looks good out here. Purdy hit him on a pass in the move the ball drill. He had a nice little crosser as well to Chris Conley. Purdy did. He threw a dime in the flat to J.P. Mason, just a perfect dime, and then hit Juice on a little whip route. I thought we saw a really nice – Allen went deep to Conley, and it was incomplete. It was great coverage by Samuel Womack III down the field on Conley. I thought Womack had outstanding coverage on that one.
And that's the guy you want over Joshua Dobbs?
Purdy had an incompletion to Pearsall in the middle of the field where Pearsall just stopped running his route. There's going to be a little bit of that on the practice field. In fact, I asked Brock
Pearsall,
after practice because we'll get to it in a
Chris
second
Perez,
here, but there's been some
man.
rumors about Brandon Ayuk being traded, and I didn't want to reference the trade, but I wanted to ask Brock, how long, if you took a new receiver and put him on the field, how long does it take before you're in lockstep, before you're comfortable, before you're before it's up to the standards that the Niners and Shanahan have for their offense? And he thought about it. That's what I love about Brock. He always thinks about the questions. He thinks about the questions and he gives you a thoughtful answer. And he said I think he said a couple of weeks.
I don't know what we're talking about right now.
He said it probably would take a couple of weeks if a veteran receiver walked in the door and he had no reps and no knowledge of Purdy, and Purdy had no knowledge of him. Purdy thinks it would take a couple weeks because of the complexity of the offense and all the different routes and all the different communication that needs to go on. A couple of weeks before Brock would feel really comfortable with that new receiver. We'll hit on why I asked that here in a minute. Dobbs, I thought, had a great deep ball to Ronnie Bell, who made a nice catch and then landed on the ball and kind of lost his air. Ronnie Bell's playing well in this camp. I don't know if there's a roster spot for Ronnie Bell, but he definitely is starting to look good in this camp, and he made a number of catches over the last couple of days, one on a deep ball today from Dobbs. Dobbs also went deep to Danny Gray, and it was just too much loft on the ball. It fluttered. It went out of bounds. It was inaccurate. I mean, Dobbs down the field is just he's a coin flip at best.
Well, you're not asking him to make deep passes if he's the backup quarterback. You're asking him to make intermediate, short passes. I don't think you're asking him to be a franchise. You're not going to ask your backup to do what Brock Purdy's doing. I just don't see it. It requires a certain kind of planning, especially deep balls.
Purdy took a sack from Bosa on one play and then continued the play and found Kittle across the middle. Purdy had a nice pass play to JJ in the middle of the field. JJ dropped it. Mordecai had a beautiful pass to Juszczyk in the flat, and then he threw a ball to Patrick Taylor in the flat that was absolutely a dead strike. That's what I'm saying. Mordecai is playing on time and throwing the ball with accuracy. In a lot of ways, he reminds me of what Brock looked like a couple of years ago in camp, where he's just mastering all these drills. It's nothing overwhelming. It's not like you're sitting there going, oh, my God, get him out there. But you're looking at the end of each drill, and you're like, Tanner Mordecai threw the ball better than Dobbs. He threw the ball better than Allen. He threw the ball more accurately than those guys. And that's what I've been.
Man, dude. Are we still talking about – I thought we were talking about Brock Purdy there for a second. We're still talking about the beautiful pass to the flat. He did say that. It was like a beautiful pass to the flat, a beautiful pass to this flat, to this flat. He did it better. It's like, dude, so you mean checkdowns? This dude is talking up Tanner Mordecai so bad. If Tanner Mordecai turns out to be just even a starting quarterback, like the 32nd starting quarterback, this dude is going to just plant that flag every video. This dude believes in Tanner Mordecai.
Been seeing in this camp. Now, there is a story that is out right now. Matt Mayoka was not here today. He has been in Ohio this weekend covering Patrick Willis's induction into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. So he wasn't here today, but he did put out on NBC Sports Bay Area an article about how Brandon Ayuk, how it's becoming increasingly a possibility that Brandon Ayuk could be traded. Mayoka said the Niners could trade Ayuk, that he will not be dealt strictly for 2025 or 2026 draft picks, but that if a team came along and offered a proven wide receiver in addition to draft
not even
choices,
a wide receiver, man.
It sounds like the 49ers may be getting ready to bite on a trade. Cam Marino of NFLDraftBuzz.com says that Cleveland and New England are the two teams that are closest to the Niners right now.
They're only closest because that's the rumor going around. Okay. The next thing is going to be Steelers. Okay. Watch. It's going to be the Steelers next. It's just because it's the next article talking.
As far as
excuse me, unless an actual source comes out saying, Brandon Ayuk, and then another source from the other team is also confirming that Brandon Ayuk from X team is talking to 49ers. I mean, right now it's just Cleveland and Patriots. Next thing it's going to be Steelers and I don't know, the freaking Cowboys.
Talking to them about a potential Brandon Ayuk trade. And the speculation is that maybe Amari Cooper, who's 30 years old and a free agent at the end of the year, could be coming back to the Niners in a trade if he goes to Cleveland, in addition to a draft choice, because, as I said, Amari Cooper is 30, 4 years older than Ayuk, and is set to be a free agent at the end of the year. And the Niners would probably use Cooper and let him walk at the end of the year.
I'll let him talk.
Which, that doesn't make Niner fans thrilled. You're going to trade a 26-year-old receiver who's a foundation piece who you invested a first-round draft choice in, and you're going to get a 30-year-old receiver who's a free agent at the end of the year who you're going to let walk. I don't know if that's going to excite Niner fans. In fact, I think Niner fans will not be excited by that unless the draft pick is a Cleveland Browns first-round pick, or maybe it's Amari Cooper and a second-round pick. New England is intriguing because they might be the worst team in pro football. And any pick, if you get a first round pick from New England, that could be the first pick in the draft. So there's no chance that Elliott Wolf, the GM, the son of Ron Wolf, the GM of the Patriots, is going to trade a first round draft choice. But the name Kendrick Bourne has been thrown out from New England. Could you get Kendrick Bourne and a second round pick from New England? And then if you did get Kendrick Bourne and a second round pick, that could be the 33rd pick in the draft. I mean, the Patriots easily could be the worst team in pro football this year. So, if you're a Niner fan, does that excite you? Ayuk to Cleveland for Amari Cooper and a second round pick? Doesn't excite me that much. Ayuk to New England for Kendrick Bourne and a second round pick. It doesn't.
All right. So Amari Cooper. So you brought up Amari Cooper. I think Amari Cooper is a great wide receiver. He played fantastic last year, and he had crap to work with quarterback. At quarterback, I would take Amari Cooper, especially as a rental, and then a first-round draft pick. To me, that's worth it. I think Amari Cooper is a very good wide receiver. He rarely complains. If he's up for because I know he wants a new contract, so if he's up for playing with the contender for 1 year, I'll do Amari Cooper in a first for sure. Kendrick Bourne in a second. Kendrick Bourne. So a second no offense to Kendrick Bourne, but he is a number 2 wide receiver. So number 2 wide receiver for a second, nah. I understand that second's going to be high, but nah. Pats just extend Bourne. Yeah, that's right. They did. You're right, Strawberry. They did. There's no way it would be hard for them to move off that contract, even if they wanted to. So yeah, you're right. So that's not even an option. Cooper 1 year rental. If we get it first, then yeah. As long as we get it first, but picks we'll never see the deal. Doesn't matter how many picks you give us. Picks will never see the deal. It'll have to be a wide receiver. You know what? It doesn't even have to be a wide receiver as long as it's a player that will start. Preferably offensive line, if not that, D tackle, DN. So, if they offered us a top, it's a pretty good chance top 5 picks straight up for Brandon Ayuk. That's enticing, Strawberry. That's enticing. That's enticing, brother. That's enticing. I don't know if I would still do it though, because I want to win a Super Bowl.
Doesn't excite me too much. I mean, Bourne's another guy who's a little bit older. But Mayoko says, it appears, here's the quote from the article, it appears more likely than ever that the 49ers are willing to make a trade for Brandon Ayuk. Amari Cooper in 2023, for those of you who keep track of this stuff, 72 catches, 1,250 yards, 5 touchdowns. He's had 7 1,000-yard seasons.
You don't want that? You don't think that's solid. He's 30, but he's performing. It's not like wide receivers just fall off at 30. We've picked up plenty of wide receivers that are old. Emmanuel Sanders was, 32 when we got him? He was old. And he was awesome. He was great for us. Probably, honestly, one of the best trades we got outside of Christian McCaffrey. If 1,200 yards, that's literally what you get from Brandon Ayuk with his 1,300, pretty much. And you get a first-round draft pick, I'm sold.
Seasons in 9 years in the NFL. He's got great ball skills. He's got better ball skills than Brandon Ayuk. He's just not as dynamic. I don't think he runs as well. I don't think he's as much of a vertical threat as Ayuk is at this point. And obviously he's older. He's got tremendous ball skills, though. Amari Cooper, catching the ball from Brock Purdy could be a very prolific duo this year.
Right.
But then if he walks at the end of the year, then all you have is a pick. I don't know. The interesting New England names for me would be guys like Jabril Peppers, Demario Douglas, who's another wide receiver, albeit a smaller slot receiver, but a good one in that.
No. We don't need a safety. That'd be nice to have Jabril Peppers, but I mean, no, we don't need the only thing we'd ever need to get is D end or D tackle. So like Judon, I know Judon wants a new contract, but again, we'd have to pay him, and I don't think we can do that right now. He would have to agree to a pretty much to Amari Cooper, hey, you want to be on contender for 1 year, same thing, and I don't think that's going to happen.
At that, Christian Gonzalez, is a top corner. If you could add Christian Gonzalez or Jabril Peppers.
Strawberry's on it, man. Hey, shout out to Strawberry, for real. I'm not being sarcastic, being real, for real. Shout out to him. This dude knows the stuff. They extended Peppers. There's no way they're trading players. They just extended. I didn't know that. So that's not happening. Yeah, I agree with you. Like, you'd have to pay him. He would have to agree to be like, hey, whatever contract, because I think he's still under contract. He just wants a new one. Agree with what he's getting paying this year, and then take Leonard off next year and put him back in. Pay him next year. Boom. Getting major cottonmouth. Patriots extended a ton of their players. I don't know why. Their team's absolute garbo. So you think you want to restart. Anyway.
To the secondary, and you could get Bourne, and you could get a second-round pick. Now I'd be happy. I'd take Bourne in a second if I could get a defensive back or maybe a Judon, an extra edge rusher. Maybe there's –
Wait. Bourne a second and Judon for Ayuk? Brother, I wish I had some good drugs.
There's a deal to be had there with New England. I don't believe they would trade their first-round pick. If New England –
They wouldn't trade their first-round pick, but they would trade Judon and Bourne and a second. That would be like a late first.
England would trade their first-round pick. I think John Lynch would absolutely jump at it. Why? Because that could be the first pick in the draft. I mean, it literally could. You want your left tackle to replace Trent Williams. You probably get it next year in the draft if you get New England's first-round pick. So that was the story that Mayoko had. It sounds to me, and it wouldn't surprise me if the Niners said to Brandon Ayuk, hey, you want to be traded to somebody who will pay you big bucks? Fine. We'll trade you to one of the teams that's going to pay you big bucks as long as they'll satisfy us in a trade. And I bet you Brandon Ayuk's like, hey, I don't want to go to Cleveland. I don't want to go to New England. Because if he's smart, and I think that he is, I think he knows that that's banishment. You go to Cleveland,
Fucking New England is taking strays right now, man. That's just banishment. He's gonna fucking drill into him, bro.
What Cleveland doesn't win. Go to New England, post Brady, post Belichick. They don't win. They're not going to win.
Jesus Christ, Larry.
So, do you really want to be on a losing team? You're going to get a big bag from the Niners. Would you rather get the biggest bag and be on a losing team, or get a big bag and go to the Super Bowl? I'm starting to not understand the Ayuk mindset here.
He's trying to make it into a bigger picture. So I get it. He's like, he just does like, your options are super limited at contender and wanting a big contract. You have to meet the team in the middle that's trying to be a contender. If you want the Super Bowl, if you don't care, then let the 49ers trade you to Cleveland or New England if you don't care about winning a Super Bowl. If you do, like, seriously, you have to give a little bit of leeway here. I don't understand. I don't understand.
But Mayoko is, it was a report by Cam Marino yesterday.
And Strawberry made a good point. I just saw this comment here. It says, they made the playoffs. Browns are good because of their defense. That's for sure. Defense is number one. If Deshaun can just be a top 20 quarterback, okay, whatever he muster in him, just top 20 quarterback, okay, God, that team desperately just needs a quarterback. It is a solid team. It's got great wide receivers, good running back, good O-line. It's really great everywhere except quarterback. It's insane. Yeah, he just needs to manage the game. Trade for have Joshua Dobbs play quarterback. Larry will be all for it.
From NFL Draft Buzz that Cleveland and New England are knocking on the Niners' door. And Mayoko today wrote an article saying the Niners could trade Ayuk. It wouldn't be strictly for 2025 draft picks, but it might be for a proven wide receiver and draft picks. And the names that are thrown out are Kendrick Bourne and Amari Cooper. I'd rather have Demario Douglas or Jerry Jeudy. I mean, if it really came right down to it, I'm trading.
Who's Demario Douglas? Who? You rather have him than Amari Cooper, dude? Who the hell is that, bruh?
A great player. I'm trading a great player in Brandon Ayuk. And all I would want if I was John Lynch is.
Papa J says send Tenor over there to Browns. Yeah, I mean, if he thinks he's successful, he's that good.
A great player in return, preferably on a rookie deal.
Oh, my bad. I just quickened.
Great player in Brandon Ayuk. And all I would want if I was John Lynch is a great player in return, preferably on a rookie deal. So if I were John Lynch and I was trading Brandon Ayuk to Cleveland, I want Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. I'll take Amari Cooper.
Fuck did that come from, dude? Where did that come from?
As well. But I want a great young player that's good. I'm trading you a 26-year-old all-pro wide receiver. I want a great young player. Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah is a great young player.
Yeah.
That's what I would want. As far as what else, I'm flexible after that, but I'm trading a great young player. I want a great young player. If I'm trading, and that's to Cleveland. If I'm trading Ayuk to New England, I want Christian Gonzalez and Demario Douglas.
He did not just say Christian Gonzalez and another player. He did not just say that, bro. Hey, man, if we can get Christian Gonzalez for Brandon Ayuk, do it right now.
I want a receiver that's better than Kendrick Bourne, that's more dynamic. I want a corner that I can use right now that can help me win games right now.
Even though we don't even need a corner right now. We absolutely don't. On every position on the defense right now, maybe except linebacker, corner is solid.
And I want like a third or fourth round pick in addition to that. And if they don't like that, then that's it. Let them play on the fifth-year option, and we'll shut down the trade talks right here and now. So if I'm John Lynch and I'm trading Ayuk to Cleveland, I want Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. And if I'm trading him to New England, I want Christian Gonzalez, And or I want that first round pick. I want a really great pick. If I'm going to trade Ayuk and I'm getting deferred compensation means I get paid more. Nobody's like, well, I'll take $1 million, but if you defer it, I'll take 500,000. No, that's not the way it works. You're paying me $1 million. Oh, you want to defer it? Now you're paying me $2 million. You want the 49ers to take deferred gratification in the form of a 2025 draft choice? Fine. Give the 49ers a 2025 draft choice that would make them excited. New England's first round pick would do that. All right, a couple other last notes. Jake Moody was perfect today, made a 38-yard field goal. He's only missed 3 field goals all summer. That was fun to watch.
Was it fun to watch though? Heard Moody missed 2 kicks earlier, yesterday, the day before. So
we talked to Nick Sorensen after practice. He says Demo and Orr has been outstanding. He says that Winters and Graham, the 2 young linebackers, are really getting better. I told you Brock Purdy talked to us afterwards. He said he was very impressed by Tanner Mordecai. Said it takes a couple weeks to get comfortable with a new wide receiver. And there were a couple football notes in the division that I think are worth mentioning. Arizona lost defensive end BJ Ojulari, their outside rush guy, tore his ACL. So that's a bad break for Arizona. They lose BJ Ojulari for the year. And then the Rams lose Jonah Jackson, the guard they signed from the Lions, for the rest of the preseason with a shoulder injury. And they've already lost Alaric Jackson, their offensive tackle. He's out. So the Rams.
Let's talk about that for a second. What Papa J said, first round picks overrated. Certainly, under 10%. I mean, most of our starters on our team right now are 5th, 4th, 3rd round draft picks, 2nd round draft picks, even on our squad. I think the only first round draft pick that we've drafted on our team right now is Nick Bosa and Ayuk. Trying to think. And Pearsall, I guess, now, but yeah, like for real. We always Lenore 5th round. I can go on a long tangent about all the players that we've got that are starters late round picks. Personally, just trade every first round draft pick we got, trade back. If you're not picking like the top 15, between top 15 and top 20, just trade back. Seems like. Everett's got a list, y'all. Check this out. He's got a list ready. Kinlaw, Lance, Foster, Thomas, Pearsall. Well, I wouldn't say Pearsall. We don't know yet. Pearsall could be dope. I got high praise for him. So I think Pearsall's gonna be good. I think he's got it. 3 first rounders and a D3 bust, indeed. All right, let's finish off this trade. Let's finish off Larry Krueger.
Rams are having serious injuries along that offensive line. So just a couple notes from other camps around the NFC West. All right, that's going to do it for us on this update. You're fully updated here in Santa.
All right, pig a bagel. Pig in a bagel. Yeah, putting Pearsall there was bad. Yeah, dude, what the hell did he do, man? He didn't do nothing. Just caught straight for no reason, bro. Hasn't even played yet. And he did great so far. So far, he's doing. He's caught some passes, make some plays against starters like Lenore. Apparently, tight coverage, and that was one of the biggest worries. Oh, okay. All right, Papa. Let's. Runs routes like Jerry Rice and hands like Randy Moss. All right. Let's cool our jets a bit. But that'd be great. That'd be great, man. If he had that kind of talent, I'll take it. If it turns out to be that good, that's a good-ass wide receiver, brother. All right. So that's everything there. So let me remove that. All right. So final thoughts. I never said better or I just said like, yeah, you did, but the comparison is just brutal though. I know what you mean. That'd be cool though. That'd be cool. That'd be cool. All right. I forgot this banner. Oh shit. Brutal. All right. All right. So final thoughts. Brock Purdy's doing fantastic from what I hear. Like, I mean, he's had just a few bad days, so I'm happy about that. I'm really proud with the quarterbacks and how they're doing, considering the offensive line with Trent not out there, and we're using just lots of different kinds of offensive linemen. So, props to them. Actually, kind of showing out. Brandon Allen's doing terrible. Tanner Mordecai is apparently a very great running quarterback and should start over Dobbs and Allen. But I don't think so. I think Dobbs gets it. If anything, he beats out Brandon Allen. So possibly Brock Purdy, Joshua Dobbs, and Tanner Mordecai for that quarterback situation. Running back, McCaffrey. Mason's doing fantastic. That's awesome. That's great to hear. I'm happy to hear about Mason. At first, I didn't have him on. I didn't make him the team. But now through 10 days, he's definitely making the team. There's no possible way he's not. I mean, he would have to have an utter collapse. But the only thing he's done is fumble once. But outside of that, he's been making plays. Wide receiver, no worries, even with Ayuk out. Debo's apparently a lot slimmer, making plays. Juwan Jennings, same thing. He's balling out. Chris Connolly. So Ever is right. Papa J hasn't seen a title since Tecmo Bowl. Oh, shit. I don't know where that came from. I have no idea where that came from. But also, as for defense, and I'm here, and we got to give props to defense. Even though we see these quarterbacks mess up, we got to give props to the defense showing up because it is one of the best defenses in the league. And if they were making plays, making interceptions, sacks, or whatever, et cetera, then we should be concerned. So, Papa J, holy shit, that was a badass game. Yeah. Oh, my God. Throwback times, brother. Throwback times. But I think there's training camp tomorrow. Let me double check. Hold on. Let me double check. See if I go live tomorrow or not. Schedule. Sorry, guys. I check when the. Probably should do this off stream, but Sunday, August 4th. No, tomorrow they're off. Okay, so tomorrow we'll talk about Brock Purdy and how he's doing through training camp, and then we'll talk about the top 28 and what that means, because I think it means a lot from what the players' perspective, because the players voted. And then if he's worth $55 million contract, and spoiler, I think it is, and I'm going to talk about why it is. So let's see what a comment we have here. Yeah, for real. If the D-line was not getting sacks against this freaking offensive line, like, you got to expect this offensive line to look bad. But from what I hear, Forrest Whitaker has been taking it up a notch this training camp on the offensive line, which is a bonus. Again, we need to hear more about Kingston playing right tackle, because that's a big deal in my opinion, especially when we only got 5 right tackles to choose from right now. So, all right, guys, thank you so much to everyone who decided to jump in this live. Thank you to Strawberry Reacts. Cool dude. Appreciate your questions and comments, man. Same thing with Papa J. Good to see you. Tribe, welcome, brother. I think I've seen you once before. If not, well, Jim Everett, the GOAT. Bah. I'm never doing that again, so appreciate that one. What I just did there. And there was somebody else. Chris something. Chris Perez. So, all right, guys. If you guys, to everyone who watched this later, sub if you like the content, or if you haven't subbed already, of course, sub. Like the video if you like the video, of course. And yeah, all love, fam, and I will see you next video.